The Spolarium is the most valuable oil-on-canvas painting by Juan Luna, a Filipino educated at the Academia de Bujo y Pintura in Philippines and at the Academia de San Fernando in Madrid, Spain. With a size of 4.22 meters and 7.675 meters, it is the largest painting in the Philippines. A historical painting, it was made by Luna in 1884 as the entry to the prestigious exposition de Bellas Artes in May 1884, and eventually won for him the first gold medal. The painting symbolized the despair and the countless death of Filipino during the Spanish reign. Anita Magsaysay, who was a luminary with the Filipino art widely celebrated for her apathetic portrayals of Filipino womanhood and pastoral life. As the only woman among the 13 moderns, a revolutionary group of artists who brought modernist art into the mainstream in the 1950s, Anita's achievements loom large even among her contemporaries, with her distinguishable flair for composition brimming with activity. Anita stands as one of the most sought after Southeast Asia artists today. In this painting, a group of women sort through the abundant harvest and line their basket with a mid-rate of colorful fruits, their graceful limbs interweaving in the common task they share. Beside the cheerful camaraderie shared by the woman, the sweet joy of the moment is embodied in the young girl enjoying a bite of the fruit she holds in her hands. This stunning work is an important example of Anita's modernist style in the 1950s, which is characterized by tight composition, an emphasis on moving thoughtful, vigorous brushstrokes, strong tonal contrast, and tendency to simplify forms into geometric shape. The basket depicted invoked the introducedness and dedication involved in the basket weaving, a practice Anita considered among the most beautiful of Filipino handicraft.
The Philippine artist Fernando Amorsolo, 1892-1972, was a portraits and painters of rural landscapes. He is the best known for his craftsmanship and mastery of the use of light. He was nicknamed the Grand Old Man of Philippine art. He was the first ever to be recognized as a national artist of the Philippines. Fernando Amorsolo's rice planting. This painting is classified as a genre painting because it depicts the contemporary life of Filipino farmers in 1951. This painting, I believe, captured the traditional Filipino occupation of men and women working on the farm on hot, sunny day. It depicts a provincial setting in which farmers wear traditional farming clothes in the 1950s and capture that fashion. This painting, I believe, is a representational work because it depicts something other than its form. Jose Hoya, born in Manila on June 3, 1931. Jose Hoya is considered the pioneer and foremost abstract expressionist painters of the Philippines. His work is characterized by calligraphic gestures and linear forces, and a sense of color, vibrancy, emanating from an oriental sensibility. The Hills of Nico. This painting is actually an allegory of human imperfections. The earth's color symbolizes the weaknesses and limitation of humanity, while blue represents life, and the white background represents the snow start to the envelope the moon. It showed no form, just how an abstract expressionist painting really looks.
Sabel is a major subject that recurs to Benkab's work. Through the decades, inspired by a real-life scavenger he photographed and sketched in 1965. The Sabel image has become the artist's vehicle for the transmission of intensely emotional moods. When pushed to the limits of abstraction, the Sabel image serves as fertile ground for the investigation of shape and structure. In Ben Cab's mind's eye, Sabel was a symbol of dislocation, despair, and insulation. The personification of human dignity threatened by circumstance, Sabel captured the mind of the artist as her makeshift clothing, made out of throwaway plastic sheet, created different shape, while she moved around scavenging for food. Madonna of the Slum is a painting by Vincent Manansala. It is considered a key modernist painting of the 1950s. It belongs to the National Museum collection, measuring 86.5 by 61 centimeter. It is painted on a masonite board. Also, Madonna of the Slum is a portrayal of the mother and child from the countryside who become urban shanty residents, one in the city. In his Jeepney Manansala combined the elements of provincial folk culture with the suggestion issue of the city.
The Parisian Life by Juan Luna. The Parisian Life is regarded as the last major work Luna did during his post-academic and life in Paris because from 1894, Luna traveled frequently that he was only able to paint a few number of the landscape in the Philippines. When Luna returned to the France in 1898, he was an appointed member of the delegation in Paris representing the Philippine Revolution government, tasked to work for the diplomatic recognition of the Philippines as an independent republic. In 1899, Luna died in Hong Kong while on the way back of the Philippines.
The builder's painting rediscovered the complexities of the human body and the struggle for recognition. The nude builders and blacks against a dark background unearthed an interesting note towards progress. That in spite of having peers around, you are on your own in your work, unlike bayanihan scenes depicted by other painters, where everyone was familiar with each other and recognized each other's importance in the tradition. The builders exemplify the dark side of progress and industrialization that would be built on the backs of anonymous men who will never receive gratification, much less see or enter the palaces they build. This was a stark realization which Edades noticed and therefore painted.
Yellow Confetti by Benedicto Cabrera. Yellow confetti is work of art that was created in the early to mid 1980s during the People Power Revolution. It is yellow confetti because those yellow confettis are the yellow flags and ribbons that the resistors use, which also derived to Yellow Revolution. It is described as a dynamic and powerful resonance of work. The painting describes the civil resistance during the People Power. It revealed how unjust the government is ever since then and how the Filipinos fought for their rights as the Filipino citizen, no matter how stubborn the government are and no matter how hard they are going through. Carlos Francisco's The First Mass at Limasawa is one of his finest artworks. This piece was commissioned by the national government to commemorate the 400 years of Philippine Christianization, which was held in Cebu in 1965. It was also believed to be finished between 1950s. The mural painting depicts Father Pedro Balderrama, who is leading the Mass in an improvised altar with the presence of Ferdinand Magellan, Pigafetta, the Spanish soldiers, and the old natives. As of today, Francisco has been remarkably considered as the artistic bridge of Philippine culture and history through his magnificent masterpiece. As seen, the painting portrays the first Mass, which was celebrated in Limasawa Island on the day of Easter. It is believed in the painting that whatever is the person's nationality, as long as that person was there to attend the Mass, that person is welcome and fully accepted. Furthermore, religious entities such as wooden cross, the lighted candles, the Bible, and the Christ are presented by the artwork. The Spaniards are showing off their faith through modest bowing and putting all of their sincerity with the native Filipinos who are participating in the celebration. This all symbolize not just the conversion of the native Filipinos into the Christian religion, but also the Spanish colonization happening during that time. Through this masterpiece, Francisco was able to effectively tell a story to the eyes of his audiences. The elements and the image projected in his artwork were exceptionally creative and visionary. It is expressive enough to show the portrayal of the subject involved. The colors are furthermore vivid and luminous, which create a realistic yet sentimental ambience and impression all throughout. Thus, the painting becomes a strong visual representation for one of the most significant events in the Philippine history.